That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's going to float this one. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there. His second touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Browns add 6 to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Now for the point after. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. 1 play, 75 yards, 6 points. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Tight right. Now let's go. Blue, line it. Check.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. And the evidence shows last week's game, it's really leaked into a second game now, Charles. What do you think of this?
And it's a surprise, isn't it? Because when we spent time watching them practice, talking with the coaches, they felt like a bounce back was going to happen this week. They were very confident in the game plan, thought the defenses they would see would present great opportunities for big-time runs. We're not getting that so far. I don't know if it's the game plan or if they're just being overwhelmed by the defense they're facing.
12 yards there as they move the chains.
Really good, solid run right there, and they did it from a 4 wide receiver set. And if you're an offensive coordinator, they used to tell people, hey, we're going to throw the football. Now they use 4 receivers on the field to spread things out, give them more running lanes and more options, and also it usually takes the bigger defenders off the field, makes the defense lighter and easier to run against.
They go play action here on first down. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Now back to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this will be taken at the 13. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Surveying the field. And a diving grab. I think he got that. Yes. 20 yards on the pickup there. And the Browns are going to have a 1st down.
Well, it's obvious to me that the big guy is beyond locked in. We saw last week a scintillating performance. We're seeing it again. I think he and his coordinator are in lockstep right now.
Sometimes a tip of the cap to the guys calling the plays here, yeah?
Not just calling the plays, setting the game plans.
And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver with his 3rd touchdown so far, number 13 now on the year. And the Browns add on to their lead.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. It's a short kick taken near the 18. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, 4 in a game.
Yeah, about 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. 1st level defensive line, 2nd level linebackers, 3rd level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a 1st level run, and it was stopped by a 2nd level player.
They'll look to throw here, and he will find his man on the outside. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
He went full scale, loose, flexible, finding a way to catch the ball in some traffic for a key 1st down.
Yeah, really a nice job of adjusting to the ball in the air. Not the most accurate of throws, but able to adjust and make the grab.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Now a handoff looking right. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front, and then maybe a guard can slide up to the 2nd level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football.
No, check.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. So they can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the 1st. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
With the struggles we're seeing up front for the offense today, they've got to think about changing up their play calling. Some screens, some draws, some quick-hitting plays in order to try and supplement the run game. You don't totally abandon it, but you try and give it a little bit of help.
Key tight end.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one. And that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. And they give this time to the tailback. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25.
Everyone understood their role on that play. 3rd and 1. You know the defensive guys, they're trying to get down and get low and get leverage on the offensive lineman, but they didn't allow that to happen. They created a crease and allowed him to get through for a first down.
And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 14 yards that time for number 14.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Back to throw now on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. That's complete right around the 8. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Well, there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected, but sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to, so sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
We got 3, fellas. We got 3.
So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
And his kick is good. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns. So they get the field goal, but part of that was a 14-play drive to get the 3.
Normally, when you hold the ball that long, run that many plays, you end up in the end zone. There's a breakdown on the defense. Something happens. In this case, that didn't. But really good ball control by the offense. They're hoping that they can wear them down if they keep having drives like that.
Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on first down on the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Pin the mirrors back and go full strength.
They'll come out in the pistol.
Let's go! Flex round! Flex round!
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Oh, he stays up. And he fires one incomplete. So the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And he's taken down. Back it his own 7. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
The Browns send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he did get it back, I do think, yes. So no turnover on the punt, and it'll be a first down.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. They'll come out in the pistol. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Partner, I think there's a lesson there. Some days you're just having a really tough time, and for the defense, today has been that day. But after that play, what do you learn? You can still make plays even when the other guy's having success against you.
And the offense moving in the wrong direction here now as they face a 2nd and 12. They'll drop to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 11 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Completed pass on 2nd down. Now it's 3rd down as the defense looks for the stop. They come out here in the eye. Now a handoff here to his running back. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s, and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, let me pump out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. But that was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. Room here to run. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. And 3rd quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
And he's going to be taken down. He's sacked on the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Browns send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. He'll look to set up his blockers. It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return, and the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we've got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again.
Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Jaguar linemen might have moved. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's got time in the pocket. And this is caught on the sideline. But no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it but was not in bounds. Incomplete.
That was a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong. He's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more.
And the Jaguars send out their punter as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Now a fair catch taken, maybe a yard or 2 shy of midfield. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe you try and find one of those special plays for one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
So this is the 2nd consecutive week as you look at the numbers that he just doesn't seem to have the same pop as we normally see him with.
Is there an injury we don't know about?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because that's a legitimate question right now. We're used to speed, power, all coming together. And what I've always loved about him is his vision. You know, last week he didn't have that as well. Always thought he was picking the wrong hole to try and run through. And his blockers, they seem to be getting him to the right place, but he picked the wrong spot. We're seeing some of that again this week. Can they snap it together? Can they get back in sync? Because normally we see them go together very, very well.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll need to get the play off quickly. And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, Hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Time running out here on the play clock. And he'll give it here to his running back. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up in the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he loses the football a second time. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll make it second down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Now let's go. Blue 90.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90.
Back to throw again. He's got time. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. 4 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a third down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And they're just a couple of yards shy of a first down here on third down.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
He'll drop to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
back to throw now on first down. And that incompletion breaks a string of 5 straight connections. And it's second down. Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Finding time. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third.
Whether they deserve credit or not, the defense is going to take credit for that incompletion because it always feels good when you slow down an offense.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Another pistol look here.
Green, 39.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. And he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
A lot of time there, partner, in the protected pocket, and he was able to deliver.
The guys protecting the passer have allowed him plenty of time to go through his progressions and find open receivers.
So they're operating in the red zone. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. That is caught inside the 5. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal. And a nice pitch and catch to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage for the completion.
And the offense readies for play number 10 of this series.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. It'll go as nearly a loss of 10 on 1st and goal. So a disaster there. It goes as a 9-yard loss on the sack. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on.
Here we go. 3-19.
Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Jaguar linemen might have moved.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
And now it's 2nd and goal. Now a handoff here to his running back. They get 5 on the run, but it leaves them with a tough 3rd and goal forthcoming.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. And 3 yards on the carry there as his defense holds strong and takes it to 4th and goal. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at a 4th and goal here as they search for a late score. And a field goal obviously means nothing here. They're going to go ahead and go for it on 4th down.
Now let's go. Green 39.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it is incomplete. They can't hook up here on the fourth down pass attempt. And this Browns defense stands tall. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't matter. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
And here comes the Jags defense as they get back out there. They've had a day that they probably want to forget. Maybe it's a good thing it's a day game because they've got the night maybe to wash this one away.
There's always a thing called the 24-hour rule, win or lose, right? That you're supposed to have 24 to absorb and then let it go. Yeah, the clock starts a little bit earlier when you play a day game, right? And they can let this thing go and move on from there.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11. And they'll run it here. And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for Cleveland, they continue to be one of the best teams around as they move to 10-2. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, it was a win they needed to turn the season around, but instead, they fall to 5-7. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Houston Texans. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say so long, everybody.